There's been several Dune games before, but generally they're more of a tactical game or a strategy type game. And we're a game where you're living on Arrakis, experiencing Arrakis like Paul would experience it. My name is Scott Jr. I am the executive producer for Dune Awakening at Funcom. We were really excited to be able to show gameplay in its full form for the first time at Gamescom, and to have people play the game for the first time in our closed demos. We showed off the crash landing experience, similar to what you experience when you're watching the movies or when you're reading the book. The first decision is right away in character creation. We call it the pain box experience. If you've seen the movie, you have that classical scene of Paul putting his hand in the pain box, and the Reverend Mother is testing you and finding out where you've come from. From there, you get your starting ability, and you can go through the progression tree of selecting new techniques and abilities to slot in. If you like to gather a lot of information, you can be a Mentat and use the Mentat abilities, or the Bene Gesserit, right? Where you start manipulating people using the voice and you can compel them to act in certain ways to overcome the challenge. Everything that you can choose at the start works, so play with the fantasy you want to be. At the start of the game, things will be sparse as far as where you're encountering players. They'll be spread over a rather large map. However, as you're encountering the mid-game, you'll start going to social hubs, which will be very compact with people there. And as you're going into the deep desert, which is our late game map, it is a huge map where you're encountering hundreds of players in the same area at the same time. Dune is a very unique IP with the shield system, and we want to follow what the movie has shown and the roots from the original IP in the books. One of the challenges working on Arrakis, and we want to be true to the IP, is it is desert. There's a lot of sand and a lot of rock, so we put a lot of effort into making our sand dynamics where you're stepping in it, leaving foot trails behind. When you're in a vehicle, it's putting up the plume of sand behind you, and you can actually track people to see where they've been in the sand. So we have deep caverns that you can go down into, and it gives you more of an underworld feeling, so it's very dark and gloomy. In post-launch, we're gonna continue adding more locations to the game. So seeing the polar regions of the map, which is very different. You haven't seen those in the movies yet. And we're really excited to be really the first game where the player can experience Arrakis from the perspective of a character, right? There's been several Dune games before, but generally they're more of a tactical game or a strategy type game, right? And we're a game where you're living on Arrakis, experiencing Arrakis like Paul would experience it. Yeah, I'm a bit of a good player, so I'll be going with the Atreides, right? I think they have the best claim to Dune, right? And I really resonate with their family. However, the Harkonnen tells a very unique story as well. So players will be able to choose either of those. If they decide they've made the wrong choice, they can betray and switch to the other factions.